Hi everyone, it's Jerry. I'm on chess.com and I just got paired up with Rodrigo21. We're playing a 3-2 game. Let's go with d4. Okay, let's see how this plays out. That seems very early to deploy the bishop. I'm going to maybe try and take advantage of that b7 pawn. Like maybe right now with an immediate exchange or queen. Let's go with an exchange first. Queen b3. Let's do queen b3 right now while queen b6 isn't an option. So, yeah. You know, because if knight c3, then there's c6, queen b3, queen b6 is a fine reply, but now it's a bit uncomfortable to defend b7. Okay, that's definitely something black doesn't want to have to do. But they did it. Okay, so let's pile up on this pawn here. And bishop f4, bishop g5. I'm welcome with a dark square bishop exchange. Let's play here. No. Yeah, let's go here. A bit more aggressive. So I could be taking advantage. Let's trade. That's my bad bishop anyhow. Could maybe take advantage of that a6 square. These squares here, d6 and d3, are good spots for knights in these structures. So let's see if we could maybe maneuver a knight there at some stage. Let's go here, anticipating maybe a c5 break. We might end up in a hanging pawn structure. Let's get all my pieces working, a flight square at some stage. Bishop a6 can be annoying. Can also throw my knight in here. Queen is unprotected. On c5 I have queen a3. Is it now time for a flight square? Let me insert a flight square move. And yeah, on c5 I think I might go queen a3. Okay, they're doing similar and they're playing quick. Yeah, let's do this. I think that could be a bit of a bother. It's a bit uncomfortable now. Bishop a6 move. Okay. And maybe, I'm not sure. I wonder about a4, a5. Is that too much? Yeah, I don't like my bishop there anymore. I'm not sure why. I want to play knight e5, but I'm fearful of an undermining move with c5, c4 structural change. I have to be mindful of that. c5, c4 is a 3 versus 2 on the queen side, and that could be not so nice. Okay, let's go here. Pressure on the knight. I have this covered, and maybe I'm making way for b4, b5, a minority attack. Okay, we're going for this, are we? Okay. To trade or not? If I trade, I'm pulling that piece forward. Do I really want to do that? We might have a bunch of exchanges soon, no? Okay, I think this position will soon be stripped to just a knight each. Let's do this. That bishop is actually a bit of a pain. I'm still fighting for something in the form of, okay, that sacrifice won't work on h3. Still fighting for something. Playing against their pawn structure is the main thing. I'm just finding that bishop too much of an annoyance. So, and I don't know that I want to take, because I'm inviting this knight to f5, and he's one step away from here. So now I'm in a spot to do these moves. Let's start first with rook c2, just preparing to double. And rook c1. I still have queen a6. I played my bishop there, but let's not forget about my queen maybe making use of that square. I have e4 and c4 covered. I have to be very cautious of structural changes. This is the main one, the only one. Okay, is this some idea coming over here to attack me? My knight has not yet committed himself to the queen side. He could come over here. Defensive resources, knight f3, knight to e5, I have not ruled out. I think knight e5, okay, yeah, let's do this first. I want to get in maybe a3, b4. Are they going to play a3? That pawn might be hunted right down. Now, if b5, this knight would want to be really quick to get to this square. But I'll try and make that difficult. Okay, that's what they're gunning for. Let's see. Okay, let's go here for starters, and then knight e5. This has to be pretty annoying. There's no long, okay, that's very weakening. Man, how can I take advantage of that? Let's go here first, maybe no a3, and b4 is secure. Their queen is tied down? I don't know how powerful my knight would be on d3 at this stage. I gotta play faster. Where's their knight going? Not sure. Let's back up here. Maybe the queen comes out on this diagonal. Yeah, that might be an idea. My knight on f4. I want to get my knight to d3. Let's go here. They're tethered to the defense of this pawn. The knight cannot move. Let's see. I think my knight on f4 would be good. Keeping pressure on this pawn. Okay, this is all the more appealing. I get here with tempo, 30 seconds. Yeah, my knight right here has to be, I would think, a great bother. I don't know who would benefit with a queen exchange. Depends on if this... Ooh, what is that move? Get the exchange. Yeah, that's just a blunder there. Okay, now I'm open to a queen exchange, for sure. Okay, let's keep my queen really active. Right here. Queen c7 coming. How do I make that knight move? Okay, let's go here. I'm prepared to sack back. How do I break this down? Not so easy. Let's go here for starters. Okay, let's throw in a check. Let's play here. Stay on this diagonal. Living off of the increment. Let's try this again. That's a nothing move. Let's get out of pins. Let's see. I want to sack back on that c6 square. Okay, now I can because their queen is unprotected. Could go here. Their queen is unprotected. They missed that. Probably resign at this point. Okay, they resigned. Yeah, let me just go back before I even look at this one with the engine, Stockfish. This is it's probably just a too early case of the bishop coming out to f5 because of this weakened b7 square. And it's again timely because if I play knight c3 instead of queen here right now, you have to strike while the iron's hot on this one. A natural knight c3, c6, queen b3 one move later, queen b6 is fine. So I think queen b3 right away, and this is already a great concession to have to play b6 and weaken these light squares. Because he's no longer around. You know, it's a different story if he's fianchettoed to remedy these weakened squares with b6, but not the case here. I probably missed some other stuff. I'll be curious to know if there's a great difference between bishop to g5 or f4. And the other, there must have been something around here. I know I could have done better. I know this is just a slow improving move, h3, h6. I wonder if there's something else I could have been going forward with. Got bishop a6 in. Knight e5 on c5, there's knight b5, but again, I was a bit concerned about this c5, c4 stuff. But yeah, those are just some rough thoughts. I think it's a good idea to go over the games without the engine initially, and then, well, let's see what Stockfish has to say at this point. Okay, let's see where we can make some adjustments here. Bishop f5, c4, e6. Okay, it likes to first take like I did in knight c3. Okay. Queen b3 is fine as well. Okay, at this point it's suggesting knight c6. That's still... I think I'm still gaining something with that. It's not too comfortable to obstruct that c-pawn. I guess the idea would be on queen takes b7, there's knight b4. Yeah, now I'd have to worry about c2. So I guess instead of b6 in the game, there's knight c6. I can't really take that pawn. Suggestion is now knight c3, and on knight b4 here, well, starts to get pretty sharp, doesn't it? With e4, d takes, and then there's already knight g5 stuff against f7 and bishop coming out. That got violent very quick. Okay, gives us a little bit of an idea. So b6, can't really be a fan of that, and as my suspicion was not too good. Pawn advantage already with that move. Okay, knight c3, e4. Alright, well, instead of bishop g5, there's already e4. Wow. I didn't even consider it. It's already probably winning at this point with the e4. And on pawn takes, knight g5 still? No. Knight e5. This is too much. Bishop e6, bishop c4. Just an enormous amount of development here. No black pieces are out. Mate is threatened on f7. c7 or c6 is collapsing. e4 will be scooped up. This is an attack for free. This pawn will be won back. Queen f6. Apparently best. Knight takes e4. Can't go in this direction. Okay, well that's actually very, very good to know. A good way to take advantage of an early bishop f4 in conjunction with b6. Knight c3 is not just an attack against d5, but it's prepping this nice forward move, e4, getting all you can out of that central pawn, and doing so with tempo. That's sharp. Okay, well that's the way to punish this. I didn't do that. We got into much more positional territory. And really no advantage now. This is, I mean, I'm playing still for something, playing against the structure, comparing the white side, white structure versus black structure. The white side is better. But is that really enough? I don't think so. It's getting some useful moves in. As you can see, it's right around here. Yeah, it's already pointing out bishop to d3 instead. I mean, I eventually went there. I wanted to play knight e5. Let's have a look at knight e5. I was fearful of this. Knight b5, queen b8. Yeah, you see, I don't have a follow-up. It still has a slight edge, but this is a bit of a pain. And if my bishop can be kicked out, I mean, maybe these pawns start to get rolling? I don't know. Okay. Well, in any event, this is something you certainly have to be aware of. This is a very, very big deal. Let's say on here, c5, I make just a nothing move. I don't know, a3. It's not calling for c4 right now, but just to emphasize, this is now a 3 versus 2. My bishop is interfering with getting this majority working, the a6, b5 ideas, but you have to be cautious of this transformation. Didn't happen in the game. Kind of just danced back and forth. In a very non-confrontational game for quite a bit. Just doubling up on that c6 pawn. I think this was a little bit helpful to me. So I want to play b4, so I did b3 just so you know, I could get in b4. Maybe b3 wasn't even needed. Because on a4, for when or if a4 comes, just making a passing move, on a4, maybe I could just go b4 and get that move in one shot. Anyhow, a3. Well, one thing to note, you wouldn't want to play a3 to do this because of the clamping down effect a4. So I want to be in a position to threaten b5 at some stage. So if I allow this, this b pawn is pretty much going to be exchanged for the a pawn as soon as that move happens. So b3, we got b4 in. Any other tactical shots missed? A half pawn advantage. It's tough to break down. Okay, it likes this idea of knight to e1, and it's running into a tempo. It's a very mysterious move right here. That's where they hung the exchange. But what would I have done if it's calling for rook d to d8? I mean, this knight is defending c6, and I don't know how to attack it with my knight. And if I can't attack it with my knight, then I don't know how to break down this position. Computer calls for first, well, it was popping up h4, and now knight f4. But what is that really leading to? Let's see. Queen f7? It wants to sack the exchange. Interesting. Rook takes, knight takes, rook takes, and maybe if challenged, rook c5. Ooh. That is very cool. On rook takes, probably this. So now there's the d4 square for the knight, and he will be enormous right there. Well, I guess that's how you deal with a knight that's trying to defend the c6 pawn. Another piece will be required to defend here, I guess, because there is this exchange sacrifice and a super knight ending up on d4. You don't want to exchange rooks. Well, if you are going to exchange rooks, you want to get something out of it. In this case, it would be now a connected pass pawn and a wonderful d4 post. Okay. That's cool. Instead, we had rook there, and, well, the exchange is picked up. Anything wrong with what I was doing? I mean, I was lacking a plan for a couple of moves. Just kind of harassing the black queen, offering an exchange. I don't even know if that was best. One thing I can say is that if the queens are exchanged, let's just say this happened, and black is coming over here to defend the pawn. I'm now in a position to play f3. I could think about this central expansion because there's no fear of my king getting checked like crazy. So with the queens off, I could think about opening files by way of e4 or even g4. Yeah. Okay, well, black was wise to keep the queens on the board, I believe. But after a couple of moves, at some point, the queen is unprotected, and then I had this tactic of rook takes c6, and then that was it. Okay, well, some interesting things to take away for sure. This early deployment with the bishop. First capturing queen b3. We saw knight c6 is better. And we also saw b6 can be punished much more swiftly for sure, of course. Wasn't punished at all. I got into the positional waters big time. But at this point here, this e4 move, very sharp. And this is already collapsing for black. Okay, very cool. As usual, I hope you got something out of this video. Feel free to leave any comments in the comment section below, and I'll catch you in the next one. That's all for now. Take care.